Just about to start the 11 o'clock turn on the 14th of October, so just 4 turns in, just see where we're up to. So, as we can see, everything on the 14th is really happening down here on the southern part of the map. A little quick overview of what we're going on here. So, all the units have been following our orders, which I'm sort of keeping on post-it notes on the board up there. And so far, this is what's happened. So the Prussians here, their orders were to come through here towards Mark Kleberg and take what they can. And that's gone very, very badly. This unit here has really prevented any progress. We'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. The rest of the corps stay pretty where it is. The Russians have held their ground, and over here the Austrian corps and the French corps have met, and that's where the most exciting developments have happened. So if we have a look down here, you can see over here that we've got quite a few disorganised units, and it's all come from over here really. It's a very good shooting from these Voltigeurs there as well. So they Prussians brought up their guns now. It's had some success. It's forced this unit back here. But as we can see here, this 5 and this little micro dice here represents the fatigue. 5, they've got their first fatigue penalty. So really, this is all just slowing down. I mean, it's, you know, they want to try and grab something over here. It hasn't gone particularly well. We'll set up some artillery, see how that gets on. But basically, they're sort of going to halt here for a while. The French haven't really done anything over here, really. Just been trying to stop the Prussian advance. Here opposite the Russians, it's all really been about this big line of artillery here that have been pounding the French that were initially outside the village here. You can see those little ones there underneath the artillery, taken quite a few losses, so the French have fallen back inside this village. Not a lot's happened there really at all. Where most of the action happened is over there. Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll wander over there. It's such a big game this that it's a bit of a squeeze in this room. So I'll just go around the other side of the board because it might be a little bit easier to show you what's going on. Okay, so the orders were, we had the French corps there, which you can see is currently on 6 fatigue. So it's getting a bit, well, it's already got a penalty. Anyway, they pushed forward. The Austrians also pushed forward, and we met in this sort of area here. Now, initially it went very poorly for the French. You can see back here, we have all these units that on first contact sort of got disorganised. As the French found out that some of the Austrian units are actually very big units. Lots of steps involved. So it looked quite bad for the French. So in response, we can see that Kellermann's French cavalry was sent over here to sort of hold the line there, make sure nothing too bad goes wrong. However, the next turn, it was still going bad for the French. So we can see Murat Sete sent order way over here to Kellermann to attack. Now, there's quite a lot of distance there, so it didn't receive Kellermann didn't receive the order on that turn. He received it the next turn. He accepted it, passed his obedience check, and so it's only now 11 o'clock that he's now going to act. However, in that intervening period, things had changed very much here. The French managed to get a bit of an advantage. Okay, a few morale checks on the Austrians, which they rolled very poorly on, and we can see a lot of the Austrian troops have fallen back. These 2 French units infiltrated through the woods to here and looked like they were going to roll up the whole of the Austrian line then. But the artillery turned, firing canister almost point blank, managed to break these 2 units here. We can see there are 2 units in square here because to try and save the situation, the Austrians sent 2 cavalry units forward. So the first one charged towards, there were actually 3 units here. one of which failed to form square and was charged. That's this guy back here. The other cavalry unit turned, because no point attacking the units in square really, and eliminated an artillery battery, 2 artillery batteries which were here. Now they've voluntarily fallen back. So we've got the situation at the moment, just leading to 11 o'clock turn, that there's actually no good order Austrian infantry at all. They've got these guns, they've got a bit of horse artillery there, and they've got 1 light cavalry unit. And following his orders, Kellermann's about to go charging in. So at the moment, it looks pretty bleak for the Austrians. Because the French still have these 2 infantry that can move forward. So their current orders are to try and take here, this village here, and the Polish cavalry is to support them. So I think that's going to be quite a successful attack for the French. So we can see the entire battle there. Now you know it's a big map in this game where we look all the way over to here that we see Napoleon. Now he's been galloping along this road for 2 turns and he's still got an awful lot further to go. So have a look down there, you can see he's got a fair way to go to get towards the troops. Now just behind him on 11 o'clock we have these units here. Whoops, there we go. We've got Sick Fort are going to come in and work their way along. So that's where we're up to at the moment. No one's taken a huge amount of casualties. The French have a few broken units down here. So looking at the current orders, these have been following, Prussians have been following these now for 4 turns. So after 3 turns they can voluntarily, well, I mean, I've got it written in instructions after a short period of time that they can attack, they can take their attack order off. So I think that's what we're going to do here. Let them recover fatigue, let these guns do their business. The Russians, well, I'm not sure what the Russians should do at the moment. We're thinking about the problems that are being caused over by the Austrians, whether these should start moving forward. But we have this terrible feeling that we're just going to keep feeding units and units into there. And before we know it, by the end of the first day, we're going to have a huge amount of units committed, which I don't know if is a good or a bad thing. Anyway, the French pretty much going to hold their ground over this area here. They're pretty pleased with how that's going. I think the Austrians are just going to have to fall back. Unless their guns can be particularly effective. I mean, they were last turn. Maybe it could blunt these guys here. The only option we have is the cavalry here, but that's mainly Cossacks. They're okay for chasing disorganised units and things, but chasing the enemy off the board, but not very good at, you know, fighting head to head. So not sure what's going to happen there. So there we go. End of turn 4.